Welcome to the For Love of Rugby YouTube channel.
We've gone through the archives and we have another absolute belter of an episode for you to sit back and enjoy.
This episode has never been on YouTube before. It's one of our favourites from the archives, so please like and subscribe, and we'll keep bringing more out.
Please enjoy the video. Court, thanks for joining us, mate.
Pleasure. Good to be here.
Really appreciate it. We won't hold back. We'll go straight into it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Find the place right.
Yeah, it's fine, yeah.
Secret
Yeah, lovely place, Leicester, isn't it? It's gorgeous. Good. Such good sights.
Mate, when was peak Courtney Lawes for you?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I feel like my game's changed, developed in different ways. I'd say the way I'm playing the last kind of this season and probably the year prior, so the Australia tour, then that season, it's probably some of my best rugby. And then previously was probably, when was it? Around the 2017 New Zealand tour. I'd have said I was similar level. Different parts of my game were somewhat better then, but I'm somewhat better at different things now. So I don't know. I've just been able to kind of try at least to continue developing my game, and with experience, it helps you make an impact more regularly, I think. And I've just been able to kind of use that to, you know, just continue to perform, I guess.
You're always a very relaxed character.
Yeah.
But is there anything you can, like you say, Australian tour, which you captained, right?
Yeah.
And then, like, because I look at you and I think you are phenomenal generally, and I think your game is still unbelievable. But like what is there anything that's actually created that? Like, have you got a different mindset, Courts? Like, you obviously knew you were calling time internationally after the World Cup. Like, is there anything that's changed that's allowed you to maybe go to that next level again? Because that's what it looks like.
I think, to be honest, mate, when Eddie came in, and I've always been like a really competitive bloke. I've always wanted to be a really good player. You know, one of the best players. But I wasn't really living that until Eddie got there. I'd stopped really pushing myself as hard as I could, and then Eddie came in and dropped me, and then I was like, shit, I'm no longer in the team, kind of thing. So I need to start pushing myself. I can be better. I knew I could be better, and I knew I could be as good or better as anybody else I was fighting for a position for. And then from there, that kind of drive just never stopped. So like I went from just trying to get back in the team to obviously getting back in the team and starting, and then you push on and, you know, you become a leader in the team, and then before you know it, you're kind of captain. But then even beyond that, I was like, well, you know, why stop here? Like I want to push to be, you know, one of the best players in the world, and, you know, to leave a bit of a legacy behind you, because you just kind of, you get on that path and you realise you're in a position where you actually can do that. So let's go for it, kind of thing. And that's really what's still driving me. Like, I'm still hungry for it. I still think I can be better and play better. Like, I'm never satisfied. You know, whenever I review my games, and yeah, like I always want to be the player I wish I could be, I guess. But yeah, that's what drives me.
It's like, we kind of touched on it, I think, previously. It is that sense of like, you're never satisfied.
No.
Like, no matter what, and no matter what people tell you, like, you've done this and you've done that, X, Y, Z. You know, we've all got over 100 caps.
Yeah.
You know, we've all played for our club numerous times, won things. But again, it's like, it's strange, isn't it? Like, you're never truly satisfied, but yet so many people would be. And is that what I suppose separates players?
I think you always, like, as I say, of course, you strive for like the perfect game, don't you, in regards to like almost like making no mistakes, but even you're never going to do it, but it doesn't stop you striving for it. And even if you get there, you look at, say, a clear out or a tackle, you're like, I could have been better at this, and it's always that, or I could do more. Like, you make 30 tackles in the game, and you're like, I can make 31, I can make 30, you know what I mean? So there's always that, and I think that's partly being a competitor, and then partly it's just, like, you want to challenge yourself, and as you say, once you start getting to those higher ends of the game, you're like, I want more, I can be better, and you learn how to push yourself, and you get further on. How have you found, like, obviously, we're quite old now between the three of us. How do you find like the pushing yourself to, you're playing your best rugby, but obviously, do you find it's more of a mental game you play with? Because obviously you want to say, oh yeah, I do loads of extras, but when you're like, can't bend over in the morning, it's like, I'm not going to do loads of extras. My extras is going inside. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going inside and you're going in the sauna. So how have you found that as you're older? Do you find yourself spending more time? The thing is, well, like, you know the game, you've probably seen everything. You don't like it's a mental. Do you find yourself actually switching off more, or sort of, you say you review your games? Do you go more detail of that, or how do you think that side of the game has evolved without putting the physical work in?
Yeah, definitely. And it is one of them things like genuinely. So take yesterday. You do Tuesday would be your big day, right?
Yeah.
So I had a back spasm before the Bulls game at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We're kicking off at 8, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to play. Like, I'm supposed to be captain.
You're fucked.
I'm fucked. Yeah, I am fucked. No matter what happens, and even if I can play, I'm fucked. But yeah, I took a load of painkillers, got out there, and I could run, I could move, and I was like, bugger it, we'll go for it, kind of thing, knowing full well that I was going to be toast for the rest of the week, kind of thing. But yesterday was the first day in about 6 weeks to 2 months that like I didn't have hip issues or a back issue, and I was like, flipping, I can actually feel pretty good. Got to the session and I was like, you know what, I could probably do some extras today. And then I was like, but then you're going to be fucked tomorrow. So let's not do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I do know what I mean, yeah.
So it's like, I was like, yeah, let's just leave that. You know, you do all that while you're young to get to the position you are when you get a bit older. And then it's about, for me anyway, it's about making sure that I feel good going into the games. Yeah. If I can feel fast and mobile, and like I can get around the park, then I will have a big impact. And then that's when all your experience comes in, and the fact that you know the game so well, that you don't have to have trained the whole week or done all the extras, because you've been doing it your whole career. You know what I mean? You've logged the hours, and now it's just about making sure that you're in your body's in a state where you can actually perform.
Yeah, I'm just going to, when you said that you got, Eddie basically gave you, like, go work at your game, blah, blah, blah. Like, was there anything, like, did he almost say to you, like, I think there's more in you, you go figure out yourself, or I think there's more in you in this department, and I'll help you get there, and when you do it, like, you'll be back in? Because, mate, like, you were, like, and Eddie, like, you played probably some of your best rugby as well, right? Yeah. So, like, you had a very good relationship with him, as I did as well. Really fond of him, but like, what was that sort of like nudge that you kind of needed, or what like, how was that kind of? Yeah,
no, it wasn't, I'll help you. It's you're gone until you get back.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, it was like, it was basically like, look, you hit well, and like I basically been pretty one-dimensional for a few years. When I first came onto the scene and we came on together, like, I was doing, like, I was known for my ball carrying and big hitting kind of thing, and then for whatever reason I lost a lot of confidence with my ball carrying, so I just was like, don't worry about it, I'll get my basics right, line out's important, I can bang people, and that's just what I'll do. And then I wasn't too worried about, like, getting around the park and trying to carry and stuff like that. But Eddie was like, no, we need a ball carrier. So until you saw that area of your game out, you haven't got a place in the team, kind of thing. So I went away and, just worked really hard at it. Did, as we were talking about, like, a ton of extras. Every session I'd do extra. And we did loads of stuff, didn't we? Like that drill out the post and stuff like that, just moving, footwork and all that kind of stuff. Until eventually, I kind of just reignited that part of my game. And then once you start doing that, you learn that, actually, you can do that for anything, really, as long as you've got the kind of attributes to do it. So, yeah, that moved on to whatever, breakdown now and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was a real, like, learning curve for me, and it's the thing that really changed my trajectory.
What part of your game, Coley, did you Did you lose and reignite?
Still trying to reignite that. Still trying to ignite it. I think in the first place, I might reignite. Yeah.
Is it bending down and distributing from if the knives at the bottom of the ruck? Is it Coley being that distributor? But like jackling's another one, Courts. Like because mate, what was the World Cup like? What were we saying earlier?
Well, we were saying before, like that 2023 World Cup, like you were getting 2 or 3 a game. It was phenomenal, I would say. That was that part of that game where you've had it, but the actual impact on, like, that was just almost like the final string to your bow in regards to, like, obviously you start, well, in that, since Eddie came in, the carry, you've always been able to hit, the carry was there, the set piece was there, the line-up work, and then, like, the ability to jackal and just turn the ball over, like, which you've, it's not like it's new to you've done, but, like, the fact that it was consistently throughout games and the impact of the game, hand on the game, it was just like, Courtney is the complete player.
Well, I'd actually, so when I was a bit younger, I did attempt to jackal quite a lot, but I got injured a lot doing it. Basically, like, I hadn't developed the leg strength you need to be able to withstand a lot of people clearing you out and trying to turn you over or whatever. Because a lot of people will, if they can't knock you out of the way, they'll roll on you. Yeah. And if you haven't got strong legs, you just, like, my MCLs, I had like 5 different MCL injuries, pretty much just from that. So I was like, went away from that again. And then when Eddie came in again, it wasn't him that really did this, but I just started taking my strength and conditioning a lot more seriously, like especially kind of compound lifting. I don't do a lot of deadlift now because of my back, but I squat a lot still. And having that leg strength and Coley, you'll know this as a front row, that like if you can get that compound lifting in, if you can be properly strong and lift good weights, it actually protects you in a lot of ways when you're playing rugby. So, and that has allowed me to then actually put myself in positions where you can get hurt and know that, you've got the strength to get away with it, essentially.
The longevity stuff. So obviously 2 years in France for you, Courts. Yourself and Coley got a little while left here. You look at DC, still going. Like Marla's still running around. Launches. What do you put it down to? Like, what do you reckon? Like, you don't miss a day of training. Like, you don't ever stop. So therefore, it's almost like if you did stop, you'd be fucked. Yeah, correct. Courts, you've obviously had injuries, like you just mentioned, but like you're still playing like your best rugby, and you're gonna have like what an event, and we'll touch on France in a bit. I'm still world class when I'm given the opportunity.
Non-23 sessions, you are brilliant.
I am unbelievable on a Friday in the non-23 at the moment. Mark my words. I mean, there's no live coverage of it, but just listeners, take my word for it. I show those academy lads how it's done. What do we put it down to?
I reckon it is that competitive instinct, and the fact that, like Coley touched on, you're never satisfied with where you're at, so you're constantly pushing yourself. You're not giving yourself any, days off. If you do have a day off, it's for recovery purposes, So it's actually for a purpose, and like I said, your ability to push yourself is what determines where you're going to end up, essentially, how far and how hard. And obviously there's a bit to do with, talent and athleticism and that kind of stuff. But generally it's how hard you're willing to work and how hard, how far you're willing to push yourself through that pain. And if you do that for long enough, you have a long career. You know what I mean?
Pushing through pain. It reminds me of Coley running in Denver. Can you remember that?
Running every day, just running in general.
No, I just had visions of you running with Marla in Denver with Lanny next to you, encouraging you.
Yeah, encouraging us, and we just ignored him, and he went
Who
back.
Was it that nearly died on one of them sessions? Was it? It wasn't Sink or someone, was it?
In Denver.
In Denver, yeah. It was a prop. It was definitely a front row.
I think he might be in this room.
Me. I'm pretty sure.
No, Coley's not bad at fitness.
Coley's actually really good.
I'm not. I'm just very slow and steady. I won't win anything, but I'll just continue going.
We did that mass running, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was minging.
Who? One of the props. Henry Thomas?
I don't know, it was him.
No.
Brooksy, maybe?
Maybe Brooksy. Yeah, Brooksy does ring a bell. I think. Oh
No, it was.
And then Brooksy got
Because then you did line
Marla
outs.
lifted him out the scrum.
destroyed in a scrum, didn't he? Like after at
And then
the
we
end
had
of
the
the
whole,
session.
we're in a huddle at the end and Brooks's head's down and Graham Roundtree was like, you remember like it was in the, it was at like Denver Rugby Club, it had like concrete stands and stuff, didn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like, Brooks had his head down, it's like, Graham Roundtree's like, look at me. And Dave Att was like, look at him.
That was it. I knew that's all that. But yeah, I just remember the scrum and being like, Brooks is in the air. His feet are off the ground.
Is that when you decided, fuck being a second row, I'm going to 6?
Yeah, pretty much. Oh, literally.
I just remember like the mass running and like, oh my God. Yeah.
I do think like longevity-wise, go back to the point, like we've probably played at like a, not perfect time, but like when we came into the game, rugby was fairly brutal. I think we got the end of like that sort of first wave professionalism where training was right, just go and have a fight for 2 hours or go and do units for 2 hours. And like we've actually, the game's evolved to the point where it's all now like short, sharp, intense. I think like it's probably put us in good stead in the fact that today some guys are like, oh my God, 40 minutes, that was so hard. It's like, that's not a hard session.
The topless mauling. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we've done some stuff.
Yeah.
I watched a bit of clip ahead of this. I looked at the opening game against Argentina in the World Cup in 2011, which you were in the row for, and you obviously played myself. And mate, like it's chaos.
Yeah.
Like the breakdown is ferocious.
Yeah.
Like it is physical, but like not as structured as obviously it is now or anything like that. But like I looked at it, I was just like, geez, like I played in that.
I
like,
remember that game, and I was just flying, like literally just flying around trying to hit anything I could. First World Cup match. Do you know what I mean?
It's unbelievable.
It was nuts, wasn't it? Yeah.
And you watch it back, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
The breakdown, the tackles, like
The game's never been safer and more structured and organised in that regard. But say, you look at those 2011 games, it's literally 4 or 5 blokes flying into breakdowns, just off the feet, shoulder charge in, and anything goes. And it's like, play on.
There's still not loads of players that have played as long as we have, though. Like you think of all the players that have kind of come and gone through the years, and like even boys like Dill's got to 33, I think, and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So like it's not that easy. Takes a bit of luck as well, probably. Do you know what I mean?
it does take a bit of luck. And you always say it's not that easy. And Eddie always said to me, like, and I really strongly believe this. He said, like, it'll be two things that give up, Benny. It's either your mind or your body. It just depends what comes first. Yeah. And I totally can see that. It's either your mind's great and you want to keep doing
just
it.
What else, though?
Overeating.
It's your mind or your body, right?
Your nutrition could definitely.
Yeah, right. That's all bases covered then, isn't it? Like,
yeah, not wrong, to be fair.
Yeah. Fuck off, Colin. I took that as like absolute wisdom from him. And I swear by that. Yeah. And now you've proper mugged me off. Fucking hell. Or maybe it's the non-23 sessions that get you in the end. Who knows? On the Friday. But yeah. Cheers, mate.
Mind, body, or coaches. That's what it's going to do here. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Mind, body, or you just shit.
Or contract.
Or like
negotiations.
Do you wish you converted to 6 earlier? And like, who made that? Because like you played 6, and then you played row, and then you kind of went back to 6, and now you definitely finished your career as a 6.
Yeah, definitely. I played a couple of games at 6, but wasn't really successful, especially for England, I don't think. And then people were like, oh, he's a second row, definitely a second row kind of thing. And then I think the game actually changed quite a bit, whereby you needed a third jumper in the line-out, like a good jumper, like makes such a big difference with your set piece. And that was when, you know, I go from what is a pretty lightweight second row to an or athletic lightweight second row to a number 6. And then that the freedom of that was really good for me in my game. Yeah.
Is there much difference? Because I imagine Coley, if you went from tight head to loose head, would be
tight head's the hardest position in sports, mate.
But could you lock it? Could you lock in theory? Could you lock it down at loose head?
You could get away for a little while.
Funny you mention that, because Joe Marler went from loose head to tight head. Can you remember when we played Quins? What year was that?
Jordan played Italy in the World Cup qualifier. He like came on to you 10 minutes at the end and just pre-engaged everything, and like the referee was just like, let's get this game over with.
Yeah.
Like, just get it over with. Like,
we played Quins at Twickenham one year, and I think Sinks had gone off, and Marler, they had to, like, whatever, he was like, fine, I'll go tight head. Mate, We'll get some footage. He refused to go down, but he was willing to go back. My God. Quins were up by like 28 points. We end up drawing the game just because of Marlon.
Really?
He was like MOM. But yeah, so it's mad sort of like trying to change positions.
But you find
it's not a big impact. It's not a bigger difference as Lou said's tired.
No.
Second row, I'd say playing as a 6, you've got a bit more energy around the park because you're not got your head in the flipping engine room. And also, you get a few more carries a game, a few more tackles just because you're off the scrum a bit quicker and whatnot. You often, especially nowadays, you'll hold the width as a 6, so you'll be up against back, so you've got to be a bit quicker and whatnot. But yeah, it's very different. It's changed a lot. Yeah,
I was finding in the tight 5 you miss a lot of the game. Like you watch it back because you're obviously in a scrum, or whatever, and you can almost sometimes have 2 phases.
Yeah.
You still go and you get out, and you're running back on side, and it's like, how the fuck do we get on the back here? Why am I running 60 meters backwards? I've just been putting like this kind of stuff, or like even off a line out, like you lift, you come down, make sure everything's right, you check the edge where it is, and you miss the play.
Yeah,
but it's only
definitely.
like say back row and stuff. You're actually involved every play and off first phase and stuff. You see the game, but tight 5, there is I'd say almost like a third of the game, like multi-phase, you miss because you're literally organising something else, looking on short sides or going over there, and it's just or still in the scrum. And it's bad.
Often you're in the second row, and obviously you can't see a thing other than the floor, and you have a scrum on your ball. You get up from the scrum, and somehow they've got the ball 30 metres down the pitch. You're like, what's going on? What's happening?
I love it when but the thing is that when it's like your ball that gets hooked and it like comes off someone's knee. It's like the flanker's knee and it rolls back through the scrum.
And everyone panicking.
Like, what are we? Like,
Shit, what do we do? The ball's in the middle.
Drop the scrum, drop it. Fucking abort. Mate, well, it can be explained at Leicester when Burnsy was there, because you'd scrum and you'd get up and be like, how have they scored? But it was our ball. Well, Freddie actually did a chip and chase and it didn't work and they picked up and scored.
Hey, you got the job.
There you go. As he told you, right?
He's told you.
Oh, dear. But that's true, actually. You guys, I didn't even think of that. 2 phases, you wouldn't have a clue what's going on. So if we were to lose it, you'd be like, what the fuck?
It's very hard because sometimes you come into like the huddle after say you can see a line. It's like you want to have solutions, but it's like I don't know what the fuck's going on, lads. But can you just sort it out? Can you just be better on the edge, lads?
Let's sort it out.
I've got no solutions for you because I don't know what's going on, but just be better, guys. Will you?
We toured South Africa in, I want to say, when was it? I want to say 2012. Did you come on that one? Course?
No, I was injured.
Injured. Well, we had one scrum, like 5 from our line.
It was the first one. It was like the first one of the game.
Yeah.
It was in Joburg.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
it was like we had this great scrum. It was 5 minutes our ball.
I put it in.
You put it in. We've hit. We've chased. It's like this is a phenomenal scrum. The crowd's gone crazy. It's like, fuck yeah. To be honest, balls rolled straight through the side. The Sixers picked up and scored.
Mate.
And it was like, I mean, it didn't even touch anyone, so it shouldn't have been a try. But like,
it should have been a reset, but luckily for us, we had Alan Roland, the great ref he is, and
head of refereeing,
and now head of refereeing.
Yeah.
So well done, Alan. No strike, straight through the tunnel. They pick it up. Everyone goes crazy. Pack pops up
out the other side.
They go straight through. It goes straight through the tunnel, and they pick it up and score. The crowd goes nuts. So these lads pick up and again, we want, like, you know what I mean, penalty against or something like that, and it's like, no, he scored. Francois Lowe scored.
It was but the week before, I think we'd done it where the ball had rolled in and like the Sixer, was it Tom Johnson? I think had touched it with his hand and got penalised, so he was refusing to touch it. And she rolled out the other side. There, a 6 picks it up, scores. I thought the Saffers appreciate a good scrum here. And it's like, oh no, we're under the sticks. Cool.
How horrible is altitude?
Yeah, Megan, mate. I mean, when the Lions tour 2019, and I hadn't been fit for that long. I've been injured most of the season. Played about 3 games. Then you have a little pre-season with Lions, don't you? Then the first game we played, I can't remember what team we played now, but I was dying in it. Yeah, I was. And like I'd had a really, really busy like first 10 minutes. Yeah. Load of carries. I must have had 3 or 4 carries. Load of tackles getting around the pitch, and I had to like go down onto a knee because I was just blowing. And you know what I'm like? I can't show this. I'm a relatively fit guy.
Yeah.
But I was toast. The boys, I spoke to the boys after, they were like, yeah, I saw that. I was actually pretty worried. This
is it. Yeah. 2018 we were toured South Africa, didn't we? And they were like, right, we're going to go to Durban. We're going to base ourselves in Durban at sea level, and then we'll just fly into Joburg the day before, play. You'll be absolutely fine. Altitude won't affect you. Like we raced into like a 28-0 lead. We end up losing to Africa like 39-32. And like all the journalists after, what happened? What happened? Why'd you lose? It's like, what a fucking lose.
Can't breathe.
Can't breathe. Everyone's dead. Like boys are getting subbed before half time because they're like literally like oxygen. They're absolutely fucked. Like we're 28-0 up. Like the momentum did change, mate. It's called fucking altitude, and no one can fucking run. Oh, the joys, mate. The absolute joys. Courts, that drill you mentioned about working your ball carrier. Do you want to just give listeners a bit of an idea what that is?
Yeah, so essentially you can just use the post as like your defender is what we do. So Lenny had essentially set a ruck. You would run at your defender. He would pass the ball to you as close to the pad as possible, and you'd essentially either step in or step out just to work on your footwork and your timing basically. And yeah, it also helps you just catch the ball on the run, which sounds really simple and easy, but you'd be surprised how many people don't move until they've caught the ball because they're worried about actually dropping it or not catching it. But if you
got to put yourself in that position first, mate. Right? I do my own drill where I stand just diagonally behind Courtney and get the breakdown. Once he's caught it and carried it, it's like, yep, breakdown, lads.
It's the elephant in the room, man. When you say some players, like
yeah,
not run onto the ball.
Some players, yeah, are worried about catching it. So, but yeah, it does really help you with your timing and also getting the ball on the move, which is a big advantage.
What you need is the coach to stand behind the posts, don't you?
Yeah.
They like step out. We had a Kiwi coach at Leicester.
We've had that as well.
Scott Anson, but he used to step out and you'd obviously go the other way.
Yeah.
But he used to step out and give it the old.
Are you serious?
I swear to God, mate.
Honestly, you try. Like,
he had a lot of energy, mate. He was a great guy.
He was
I think
brilliant.
he's in the All Blacks now.
Yeah.
Mate, he's
skills
a great
coach,
guy.
but it was just like he'd step out and give it one of these, but you just cry.
We did this drill where you start like back to back. You turn around, the guy's scoring in the corner, and then you had to tackle him. And then he was defence coach, Scotty, and he was full of energy and enthusiasm, and he wanted to go against Cockers. So he's like, let's fucking have it. And so went back to back. And he tried to back me, mate. Oh, it's fucking funny, mate.
Sick.
It's so good. Love that stuff.
Courts, obviously, the appreciation of you has definitely grown. I think it's probably, we spoke earlier, like, I think your stock in the rugby world has never been higher. Do you reckon that's just... What do you reckon that comes from? Is it a combination of people being more aware of what you're doing, or sort of the way, I don't know, like the commentators talk about you, or what do you reckon? You know what I mean? Because you've always been really good, but like,
because you're retired, or like what is the like? But there's definitely been, because we've always known how brilliant you are.
Yeah.
But like, it seems that definitely publicly now, there's the appreciation you deserve.
Do you reckon being captain of England and stuff has been?
Yeah.
As in
no, I completely understand. Like, there's a lot of kind of hype around me at the minute for whatever reason. I'm not.
But it's right. The thing is, it's justifiably so. The thing it's not hype in regards to just like, oh, Courtney Lawes. It's players have always known. People who've played with you, your teammates have always known how brilliant your opposition, have always known how brilliant you are. But it's only recently that I think the media and the wider world has latched on to how good you actually are. And do you reckon, as I say, without trying to take anything away, but is that just because people have wised up, or do you reckon it's a combination of sort of you're playing brilliantly and it's just you can't avoid how good you'll be playing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've honestly got no idea, to be honest. And I've always kind of really appreciated the respect that I've got from my peers the most, and that honestly is what's been most important to me. And I remember when we had the whole shenanigans around like who should be captain and this and that, and everyone's picking certain players, but I'm nowhere near the radar, and then out of nowhere I'm kind of captain, and that just showed to me back then the difference between what is happening in the team and in camp, and actually what the wider public see and think, kind of thing. And I think that probably has helped people consider that what my game is and how I impact a team and stuff like that. And then on top of that, probably just the consistency kind of stuff, because yeah, like I said, since kind of 2015, 16, I've been a pretty consistent player, developing year on year. But I'm not entirely sure what it is. I mean, I suppose a lot of it, especially this season, will be down to the fact that my team Saints have been doing so well, and essentially you do ride off the back of that as a player. Like, regardless of how well I'm playing, if we're losing most games and if Saints aren't in the semi of Europe and top of the league, then you won't get as much coverage and that kind of stuff. So it'll be a lot to do with, I think, how well Saints are doing, and within that, you know, we've got an awful lot of talent at the Saints, and I dare say that a lot of them are actually probably playing as well, if not better than me this season. But I'm just trying to offer what I can in terms of experience, making sure that if I've got something to say, or I think if I think I can add to the conversation and the preparation of the team, then I make sure I kind of do that, and that is my kind of role in the team at the minute. And then being that kind of pillar that is, regardless of the game, how big it is, how small it is, just consistently play like a 7 out of 10, maybe an 8 out of 10 on a good day kind of thing. But yeah, I don't know exactly where. And then I suppose a lot of it, some of it will probably be to do with the fact that I'm quite open about talking about rugby and what I think's right and what I think's wrong and stuff like that. So personality's got a bit to do with it as well, most likely. But I'm not entirely sure, lads.
Well, I think it's great that you are getting the recognition, mate, because they say your peers, we've always known it. We've always seen, like, you know, I think of like some just little moments of like when we played Tonga that time, and we're up by a load, and you run back and you make that tackle on Toulouse Savano. Like, you know, that stuff is like unbelievable. Like, you had no right to get back. Like, and it's just, I guess there's like, even during the World Cup where, you know, the warm-up games didn't go particularly well for us, then went there, you were then such like a talisman figure almost within the pack and within the group. That again, and I just think it's great that actually you get the recognition you deserve, because, you know, I'd argue that out of all the guys that have got 100 caps, in my opinion, you're the best one out of that lot. Like, do you know what I mean? And you know, when you think of people talk about Delalio and Hill and Back and all that, like, there's no doubt in my mind that you are in that. You have to be within that debate. And obviously, I'm going to be slightly biased. I play with you, but I just think it's great that you are getting that, and rightly so.
Thanks, mate.
Too fucking right. We've got to talk about smashing people.
Yeah, of course. Because
there's an art to it, and I'm still trying to figure out the art. How much do you get out of it? And like, yeah, just tell me about it.
And also, like, do you reckon it's like something that's like God given to you in regards to like timing, and or is it something you've worked on? Or do you reckon you were sort of born and playing rugby as a 8-year-old, 10-year-old?
Yeah.
It was something that was in you to smoke people.
Yeah, it's definitely, you really can't practice it, to be honest.
I'm fucked.
All these years I've been trying.
All these years, mum and dad. God damn you.
And it depends what you're talking about. Like, you can obviously practice being a dominant tackler and your body position, timing, stuff like that. You can practice that, but the kind of stuff that, like, say someone like the Tuolangis will do, you know, like the hit on Fodes back in the day when we played Perpignan, and he literally turned him inside out. Like, you can't actually practice that kind of stuff. It just has to, you essentially, well, you need to have pretty good timing, and you need to want to hurt people. And in doing that, you have to be willing to hurt yourself at the same time. And there's been plenty of times where you hit people, and especially the highlight reels are the easiest ones. Like, they're the ones that don't really hurt you. But I've hit a lot of big people, and they don't go anywhere, and you end up hurting yourself. But you still hit them, and I think that's actually. There's a lot of, you know, all my highlight reels are me just banging like smaller blokes because the impact's a lot greater. And then there was one on like Bastro that I managed to just time it perfectly. But I've actually turned up some pretty big blokes as well, and like, they're the ones that your teammates actually appreciate. It's not like the little lads that, you know, anyone can bang. It's actually like stopping the big blokes that the boys around, that gets the boys up for the game kind of thing. So, and I've done a few of them. They do hurt you, but they're the ones that mean a lot, I think.
I could vouch for the Bastro one because you can see it. We'll clip it up. Right. Bastro's running and I'm in front of him. And I'm like, I'm fucking line break for France right this way, sir. And you come out of nowhere and fucking smoke him. I'm like, oh, thank God for that.
I know, yeah. Honestly, for that one, oh mate, because
I behind angle, you could probably see my face of like joy. Like, yes.
I come around the corner and I'm mad for it. Obviously, like we're playing France or whatever. Come around the corner and Faz is on my outside, and Faz's like, "It's him, Courts. Go and get him, Courts. Go and get him." I was like, "Yeah, I'll fucking get him. I'm gonna get." And I fly out the line, boom. But yeah, that one hurt me as well. Yeah. Good.
The Pilisson one. That
Police
one.
on,
Yeah, that one is like
That's
iconic one. That's literally just timing. And getting that, you can't really do it that much anymore. All the fly ash are a lot quicker than they used to be. Like it used to be just distributors, so like they catch and pass, and they weren't much threat at stepping you or whatever. Like if I tried to do that to Marcus or someone like that, it'd have me on toast. But you could time it. So if I could time it around their breakdown and not break my stride, by the time they pass the ball, then I knew I could get to the 10 before or as around when he's going to pass it.
give or take.
Give or take. After. I'll take any of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I used to do that relatively regularly. It's really hard, obviously, to time, and you got to have the energy to do it as well. But yeah, I've got a few of them.
What's the? Have you ever gone into a game thinking, I'm fucking going for this bloke, like, just like he's having it?
No, I don't think I have ever like thought I'm targeting someone specifically, to be honest. No, I don't think so, and I don't think you can. I think if you try to hit somebody, just because you wanted to hit them specifically, it'd be so hard to get yourself in. Like it'd be so rare to get yourself in a good position to actually do that. You have to just take big hits as they come. Like you can't really plan them. So no, I unfortunately haven't specifically targeted to anyone. Although I have, I didn't target him, but I hit Manu, and this is similar. This must have been his early days, 2012, 2013, and he's hit a decent line. But I read it, and I was like, right, this is the one, and I banged him, and he didn't go anywhere, mate. Honestly, I was like flipping this guy's back. My shoulders like on the floor, hanging off. Like this guy is a joke. I stopped him, so I was happy with that.
Did your job?
But I did my job, but he didn't go anywhere. So I was like, oh yeah, I'm not doing that again. And that's actually, I did start changing my game where I'd probably just chop the bigger guys.
But is it like? What's like the easier tackle for you if someone just goes like straight at you, or is it like if they're on like a little 45?
45, yeah. If someone's coming straight at me,
they want it, and you want to give it to them.
Yeah, I'm chopping them. Yeah, 100%. Just because it's so hard, and it's easier to be a good ball carrier than it is to be a good tackler. I think it's really hard to hit somebody that's can go either in or out on you. Do you know what I mean? But the best ones for me are when everyone does 10, 20, 30. So if I'm a 40 defender and the first receiver, you do the little pod, they'll normally come on a slight overs. And if they run into my channel, I'm like, this is perfect, because they can't get outside me. They're only going to run one, and that's when you can just be like, well, there you go. He's running in there and he's getting hit. Do you know what I mean? So they're the easy ones. Other than that, I try and err on caution nowadays and try and keep my body in one piece. So I'll just straight spokes.
When you've got to make 20 tackles a game, it's kind of like if you make 20 big hits a game, you're probably not going to last that long. So it's a question of like, when can I... And also, it's like you make a big hit on like someone on the arrowhead carries. It's just going to be a collision. So it's like someone who wants to make a marker, but you're also like, is it worth breaking my shoulder here for a 1 yard game, which they're just going to kick back to us? Yeah. It's like, no, I'll just get them down and then like...
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, yeah.
You got to pick your battles, especially when you get to our age.
With some of your highlight real hits, Courts, do you ever cast a cheeky eye at the break of play, when it comes on the stadium screen? Do you ever just look up and go...
Yeah, definitely, 100%. And a lot of the time, and I'm sure you guys will know this. So you'll think you've done something unbelievable on the rugby pitch, and you were like, flipping heck, some carry that. And then you watch it back and you're like, I didn't get anywhere. That was it's awful. Do you know what I mean? Oh, yeah.
Also, we have it in like scrums where it's like, yeah, that's an awesome scrum, really gone. You look back and you've gone forward 2 inches, and it's like, cool. Why is the crowd not on their feet? And it's like, because I've seen you move forward an inch. Or it's like, you think you're getting hoofed, and it's like, you've gone bawards a foot. You're like, it's around the field though. You have it like, you collision, you're like, hit him there. Fucking, that was a good shot.
Yeah.
And you watch it back, and it's just literally like, 2 blokes just falling over. You're like,
It's so true, isn't it?
It's
When
so
you make
true.
a break and you're like, fucking hell, who did I skin there? It's like, and there was actually just no one there. Or I just ran around Jim Hamilton. There's not too much to
tripped over your own feet. You're like, yeah, nailed it.
yeah, not too much to get excited about.